Twist those knobs. Twist those knobs.
And we're live. It's
We're
us.
live.
I see us.
Wow. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Tonight we are playing some more BFRPG, and it's the finale. The day that everyone dies or kills the baddie or both.
Die or die trying.
Yeah, we'll see which one they do.
Oh no. My two-pack drug.
Yeah, that's
come fast.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sort through new Windows that I shouldn't have upgraded to Windows 11 today because I'm not used to it yet.
Windows 11.
I did. There's some things that are in different places, but yeah, for the most part, let's see. Last session, you guys learned of Athenheimer's location. You traveled back down to Veshkal, found that he had targeted two sites. One was a mine and one was a village with one of these old burial sites attached to it. And it seems like he kind of just laid waste to both of them. There wasn't much left of the mine, and you encountered what appeared to be the village leaving the town on your way over to the little settlement. Once you made it there and went inside of the monolith, as you entered most of the other dungeons, you found that there was, let's see, you guys went through a few different rooms. You had some puzzles with spinning doors and some statues with laser eyes. Not really laser eyes, but they had to look at each other. You made it to a big chamber that had Athenheimer in it, and were very direct and to the point and brought up the name of his old apprentice, or his old master, rather.
I mean, he tried to fool us with a pretty weak scheme.
Yeah. When you guys opened the door, he tried to play off that he was also being attacked by the skeleton zombies of his former employed soldiers.
I mean, it looked like he was probably waiting there, oh, you can't see this, but I'm looking at my watch,
you got that vibe as he finished off the only one in the room with him right as you guys opened the door. You guys went straight to the point, and we ended the session with you all being transported to what looks like a large circular arena
where we'll have great food, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, we're just here for a good time.
We're just going to have a feast until we can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
Well, we won't be able to eat soon, that's for sure.
Probably. So that's where we pick up. A lot of you are down. It's kind of like not quite sand, but kind of you feel like there's hard soil and then just the slight layer of loose dirt above it that kicks up as you walk through. Probably about 15 feet up, there's a bit of a ledge, and on it you see Athenheimer, who I believe questioning you guys a little bit on how you knew the name, and that's where we ended. But talks were short.
They were. Pretty much he threatened, he's like, you can be undead or you can be dead. And we're like, that sounds unpleasant in both directions.
Those are both bad choices.
Yeah. So with your response of neither of those, you see Athenheimer.
I mean, what did you expect?
I don't know if he was really expecting you to accept either of those, but you see him move to the edge, and as he vaults over it, just as he hits the ground, you see the color of his clothes and everything kind of shift a little bit. You see. Oh, do I select this wrong layer? There we go.
We see a bag of farts.
Oh my god. I thought those were outlawed.
My good. Oh no. I'm moving stuff all around.
What did you do, Joe?
Come on. I have a lot of things stacked on top of each other in the GM layer, and it's
Complicated.
a bad idea. There you go. That's what you're supposed to see.
So he
Go
got
back to
real
typing.
fancy.
Got fancy. So you see, as he lobs over, he looked like he was kind of wearing some armor and had a sword in his hand, but those seem to kind of just fizzle out as he drops over the ledge and lands on the ground with you. And holds out both arms. They seem to be covered in flames as a slight blue shimmer goes across his body,
Hey,
which then extends out.
That's cheating.
And you see should have had these lined up a little bit better.
There's just get fucked written above his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get wrecked.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh no. Yeah, that's like just like a rotating display that has those words written in it.
And then we roll initiative.
Have I mentioned that I didn't want this? There we go. Look at that. Maximum initiative.
All right.
Ooh.
Got it. Oh,
Oh.
it's a D6, isn't it?
D6, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, I did
I
great.
was like,
That's the
I was like, who the
wrong.
fuck got a 13?
Not me. There you go. I got a 2. I hope that makes you feel better.
I mean, not
Does.
really. Because, I mean, if you got a 13, that means you're going first,
Yeah.
which I prefer.
You got a 9. I mean, maybe you'll go first.
I don't know that I want to.
Just run up and stab him.
He can
We
see
each got
me.
different numbers. That makes my job easier. 2.
Like, can he like give us a free shot
Yes.
first or something? Like a tough boy would?
I think he should.
Hit me. Hit me.
Yeah, just like that.
Actually, Golet goes first.
What an asshole! I have
That's
the
our
maximum
friend.
of- I have
That's
the
our friend.
maximum- Yeah, I know, but he's still an asshole because I had the maximum possible roll on initiative.
What did he roll, Joe?
He gets to roll a
He might have
d20.
things that augment his initiative.
I had a D6 plus 3. That's as good as you can do.
He had a d8 plus 6.
That's fine. He won't do anything useful. So,
That's even worse.
Yeah, that is worse.
so
Oh, snap,
He's just gonna
lollygaggers.
yell at him like, you're a little bitch, and then hide behind us, or what?
Hey there, lollygaggers. Thanks for that raid.
yeah, well, nothing immediately useful. How's it going, lollygaggers? All right.
Ooh.
You're joining just in time to watch a boss fight.
Yeah.
Boy.
In other
We're
words,
gonna
you're
die.
joining just in time to potentially watch us all die.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. That too. So Gullick goes first,
Oh, snap. Thanks for that sub.
and he doesn't seem to do too much. You see a familiar kind of spell cast as you see like the white cloud kind of form in front of his eyes, and his eyes kind of go everywhere as they do, as he's doing some sort of divining magic, looks like. That seems to be his turn, and he steps back.
Why am I at the front?
Now it's Dan.
Go stab him, Dan. Go stab him.
No. I mean, that'd probably be the most effective thing I'd do is the sad thing, but I'm going to shoot with my longbow.
Get him,
All right.
lad.
It's a +1 longbow.
It is +1 longbow.
+2 against regenerators. Is he a regenerator?
Actually, technically, I think he is.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And this was
Not
when
really
the pod
in the
figured
it's
out
not in the book,
they'd fucked
but
up.
by the way that's determined.
Well, it's up
would
to
be.
you. I'll just roll with my attack bonus, which I think is
Yeah.
8 at this point, which is shockingly high for this kind of game.
One thing that's funny about the book is the only time that regenerators mentioned is on that like magic item generation chart.
I didn't include the +2 or the +1 for regenerators if or it
Okay.
does not apply. So it's up to
That would hit regardless. So
you. Okay.
so you send an arrow flying, and you notice it kind of sparks a little bit as it goes past this barrier. It seems like it has a bit of resistance as it hits it, but kind of pushes through. You see this like small little hole get punched in it
Hey, it's
as
magic.
it passes, and you see it strike into his flesh.
Noise.
I'll just give you the D6, and it's up to you what you want to put on it. So
Okay.
Bad.
that's not bad. That's not bad.
Let's see. This is
Right in the nipple.
I hope so.
How can Jake?
Alright,
It didn't
Jake.
come through.
Oh no, I was just saying we could slap the arrow if it goes into his nipple. It'll be hilarious.
So
Just
you see
while
this
he's on the
arrow
ground bleeding, you
sink
just kind of
straight
flick
into
it.
him. And he seems to not react in any way. Like it definitely hurt his body. Like you can see that it like punctured and went through the other side. It's still lobbed in him. You even heard it like strike him, but his face completely doesn't change. He's still in the middle of his incantation.
Oh,
Crap. He's just a meat suit.
Oh,
So that is Dan's turn. Eddie.
well,
Me.
I started off by rolling well, so we're probably screwed.
Well, I mean, yeah. But then again, yeah. I mean, I'm melee. do I really want to get up close and personal with this guy at this point?
Are you smart enough to know not to?
Let me check my stats. Hell no, I'm not. Joe, I'm YOLOing.
All
I'm
right.
going to run up and attempt to get close to him. What happens when I hit the barrier?
So when you run into the barrier,
I'm just kind of shield bashing my way forward to get close enough to swing with my axe. So
okay. Yeah. Give me a strength check.
ooh, something I'm good at. Max.
Oh,
So you feel resistance right as you walk into it. It's almost like you smashed into like a wall or like a pane of glass or something. As like you feel your face and body kind of get pressed against it. And it resists you moving forward a little bit, but you quickly just push through and you kind of feel like it rips around you, almost like it's made out of fabric or something. And you puncture through and are able to move up and get right next to him. You see there's this hole that kind of forms in the wall behind you that starts stitching itself back closed.
Fantastic. I'm going to take a swing at this guy.
All right.
just let him know that it's not, you stuck in with him. It's him stuck in there with you now.
Yeah. I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me. So once I punch through with my shield, I get right up close to him and look up at him because I'm a dwarf and I'm short. And I just go, oh boy, we're about to have a little bit of fun. 17 hit.
That does hit.
Fantastic. Let's see. I believe I just have my normal axe. Yep. So max damage, 11 damage.
Ooh. All right. That is a solid shot.
I'm just swinging like straight into his hip, his midsection from the side, just side swipe.
You do so. And you bury your axe into him and as you rip it out, there's like a chunk of flesh that comes with it. And again, he doesn't seem to be phased or react in any way to that happening. You definitely did a lot of damage to his body, though.
Well, now I'm just perplexed and disappointed. But I am right up on him with a shield in his face, so hopefully that'll distract him a little bit.
Okay.
Next.
Jake, it's your turn.
I'm going to pull the Scroll of Invisible out of my pack and use it.
Okay.
And Jake goes.
You do so.
We just hear a popping noise, look back, and he's gone.
A spray.
Wait, where did he go?
Comes from somewhere else in the arena.
With a tiny, birthday kazoo noise.
Invisibility. It was a scroll of invisibility, right?
Right.
That would be great if things like the scroll of invisibility literally shift you to a dimension that's filled with nothing but confetti.
Oh man,
so
that'd be awesome.
As you phase to that other dimension, just a tiny bit of confetti comes through the tear in reality. And when you come back from being invisible, you're nearly deaf, driven completely mad from the sound of party kazoos, and having spent even though you were gone for a minute or two, having spent an entire year in this realm of confetti and party kazoos where you couldn't die.
Okay.
It's like a kaleidoscope of noise and
Yeah. All right. I think that takes your whole turn, right? Is reading that scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is your turn. You do that. You pop out of existence and seemingly vanish. Now it's Athenheimer's turn.
Good pop sound.
And you see both of his hands have kind of been forming this fire that's slowly licking its way up his arms. And he puts his hands together and pulls them back apart, but the flame of it stays in front of him. And it drifts over to the side of the room, as you see.
I should have tried to lop one of his arms off.
Hard to know.
You see this large ball of fire appear in the top corner. And it moves in a steady, straight line from here. Is there a way to just draw a straight line?
You can do polygon line.
Polygon, draw sheep. Polygon line. There we go. So it goes from here. It's not changing colors. There we go. Goes from here to here.
I don't see anything.
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Did you do that on the GM layer?
That means it didn't happen. Whose turn is it next?
You see that now? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, that's
There
right
you go.
over someone's face.
There we go.
It's our gnome, I think.
Yep.
Check.
Oh,
Yeah.
who could have known that was going to happen?
a. Would that be? It's one of those saves. That
death
would be a. I think that'd be against rod, staves, and spells, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Bells, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Nope.
No.
I fail.
Okay. Well, you
No.
get to take
418 damage.
measly 5 damage as this
Okay.
ball of fire rolls
I mean,
through you.
I can
You
take
say
that.
measly, but it's not that
Yeah.
small.
It's like a quarter of our health.
It's pretty small for 3 dice.
It's about a third of my health.
I had a small for 3
Yeah.
dice.
Athenheimer chooses the sun. The sun uses special move, the sun. The sun
Yes.
is super effective.
And the ball does not disappear as it
Oh, crap.
reaches the other side.
Sounds
It
right.
just kind of sits there.
You bitches should have got yourselves a shield.
All right.
Now my scroll of
After that,
invisibility is
Shep,
working
it's your
just
turn.
great.
Freshly crisped.
Okay. I run over here
Okay.
and I start fishing something out of my bag.
All right.
But I've got my back to Athenheimer, so he can't see that I've just pulled out the skull.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
All right. You do so. Okay.
Olik.
Now loops back up. Yes, and is Golik. So he is going to move right here.
Buff me, magic
Alright.
daddy.
A spell. And it's going to connect.
Is it a spell of
You
invincibility
see-
for Nolan?
You see this blast of like purple lightning arc over, and it connects with the edge of this blue barrier and it encircles it entirely. And the blue barrier goes away.
Good job, Magic
Oh,
Daddy.
shit. Magic Daddy is literally the Senate.
And that is his turn. Dan.
Just because I don't know any better, I'm kind of gonna move behind this rock, like it's gonna afford
Okay.
me some cover or something. Which is probably
Yeah,
gonna,
that particular rock is probably one of the tallest ones there.
probably
it'd be
gonna
enough
put
for
me
you to
like
duck behind.
perfectly in line for getting fucked by the sun, but it gives me an angle on him that's not right on Eddie. And I'll attempt to shoot him again
Okay.
because
Shoot her.
All right. And that connects. You knock an arrow and it sinks easily into him. There's no barrier now for it to pass through. And
I mean,
it
like-
goes through his rib and pops out the other side.
I feel like we're not doing the right thing, but I'm not smart enough to know why. So it's a 2 + 1 or 2, depending on how you feel.
Okay.
Boom.
Who is in the skull currently?
One of the thugs.
One of the elves.
Yeah, one of the elf thugs that we jumped.
One of the elf.
Is that
From
true?
The ones from the
Yeah.
bar. Yeah, from the
Yeah, it's
Applebee's
the
looking
one-
place.
Yes.
From
That'd
not
be the
Applebee's.
one that sockets
Yeah, from-
took over the body of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pair hornets.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was that one or the thug guy from the farm.
No, it's one of the
I mean,
dudes
yeah.
from
in
the elves
What
from
did
the
we call
bar.
that place?
In theory,
The
he's
what?
wildly incapable to use this body. Maybe.
In theory, yeah.
All right. After Dan, it's Eddie.
I'm a swing, but this time I'm a swing for the head. Go for the head.
Okay.
Go for the
13 probably does not hit.
13 barely does not hit.
Dang.
And as you swing up for the head, and there's like this kind of sheen of this like weird purple glow that barely deflects your blade, and it just passes in front of him.
And we
All
don't
right.
have any rerolls right now.
All right, Jake, you're invisible.
Yes, I am.
I'll yell back to the rest of the group real quick. Careful, boys! He's tall!
mean,
Let's see. So the blue sheen is gone, yes?
It is.
Yes.
Okay. Well. I suppose I will try to move up closer to him. That'd be 5, 10,
Okay.
25. I will get beside Eddie.
Okay.
And
Do you
I will
take any
fish
actions?
I will fish the acid wand out of my pack of supplies,
Okay.
and I will just call that good for now.
Okay. You do so. You're standing there ready with the wand.
As you prepare
And
to
then I
obliterate
believe Eddie and Athenheimer are not aware of you. After Jake, it's Athenheimer's turn again. And he does two things. One of his hands is going to point at Eddie, and he is going to kind of do like a swipe in front of his body, and this flame kind of grows out at the end of it and strikes in his path. Let's see if that connects. It does. That's going to deal.
You can pass 22?
Yes.
Damn.
He rolled a natural 19. So
What?
He rolled a 19 plus whatever his modifier is. It's greater than 3.
Okay.
but luckily he rolled bad on the damage again.
I thought you said
got-
he rolled a natural 1. I was just like, what?
No. He rolled a natural 19. But Eddie, you're going to take 8 damage.
Ooh, that
As
still
this
hurts.
flame just passes through your body from shoulder to out like your back.
Like you've been microwaved. Actually.
And 2 of his
My
damage
back
dice
hair!
for once.
All right. What was that,
He
Joe?
singed me back
So
hair.
he took 8 damage, and 2 of his damage dice were ones out of 3.
Yikes.
Um,
Oh boy.
after that, his other hand points at this sun here, and it moves over to here. In this line.
Luckily, I moved
Doesn't
out
seem
of the way
to-
of it.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to bisect anybody, so nobody has to dodge out of the way or anything. You feel the heat of it as it passes by you there, Dan. And it seems to be like along the ground almost as it's moving, as it quickly darts from the bottom up to near the top of the arena. Chuck, your turn.
Okay. I get the skull and I hold it facing away from me in front of my face.
Okay.
Facing out. I squat. And I activate my teleportation helm.
Okay.
And I teleport onto Eddie's shoulders.
Okay.
That way, this skull will be right at eye level
Yeah, just about.
with Athenheimer.
This might be pro game removed right here.
I'm going to make you roll for the coordination of that.
Yeah,
it's not going to be super high, but give me a... what do you feel like that would be?
You want a dexterity?
Or like a...
Or is it
Yeah.
intelligence for his spell?
I was going to say your pick of intelligence or dexterity.
Oh, I'll go intelligence then.
'Cause
Fuck.
you didn't roll a 1.
Okay.
Because technically you're not doing an attack with it and you're teleporting to a friendly space. I was just going to make you, if you rolled a 1, which you were 1 away from, you were going to teleport partially inside of Eddie.
Oh, okay.
And deal damage to both of you.
If it got the job done.
Yeah. But okay.
It was 2 out of 1.
Happens. So, Chuck, you blink out of existence, your helm glows, and you feel this strange, like magical energy course over your body.
Yeah.
And you pop back into existence right above Eddie, and you slunk down onto his shoulders. It's a little bit uncomfortable as a fall. You did a little bit higher than you wanted to, but you land on him, still holding the skull above your head or like in front of your face. And give me a luck check.
Okay. My luck is 11. Fuck, I got a 19.
All right. Do we have any re-rolls or anything?
We don't have any.
No, we've got nothing. We're stuck with the fate that we rolled tonight.
It doesn't happen this turn then.
Okay.
So after Chuck, it loops around to Golik. And Golik is going to move here. And he will, I guess, Chuck, you're like,
yeah,
I'll put you right there just to signify where you're at. And from there, he is going to cast. You don't see what it is at first. You hear like this crash of thunder as it looks like this small cloud of mist appears above the head of Athenheimer and begins to trickle down with rain slightly as a bolt of lightning erupts out of this cloud.
Nice.
And he fails his saving throw, meaning that he takes... Golik's the first person to roll well for me on damage. 16 damage as this bolt of electricity ripples through, charring the body pretty intensely. Still seems to be intact, but it's like you see chunks of bone kind of sticking out of it at this point. Most of the skin's kind of scarred, but there's still like a light behind the eyes of this meat suit. After Golik, Dan.
I feel like we're just doing the wrong thing here. I do have in my inventory still a weighted net. I want to try and throw it on him. So,
okay. Are there mechanics for that built into the game?
I'm not sure. I mean, like, I can move up like real close to him. I want to make it harder for him to resist looking into the skull. We got this from salvaging a trap.
That's right. Yeah, that was in like the first dungeon, so there's that technically. Yeah,
and I've been carrying it with me since.
I'll say he has to make a death ray on that. as you toss it over him.
So I'll maybe move up kind of probably closer than I should here. And then see if I can throw it out on him.
Okay.
So I don't know what you want me to make for a throw on that or something, but
roll me an agility. I'm basically saying if you just totally fumble it.
just straight up agility or
Yeah, unless you have something that
I mean my ranged attack bonus is like a +8, but straight agility is just 3.
Okay. Yeah, make a ranged attack. That works.
Okay.
You're aiming a net.
Oh, /T doesn't work. Oh boy, I need
Okay.
that too.
13. Then he will make a
That was not a good roll.
bad. So the check to like get it over him is pretty low. And then it's on him to make a death ray. And he rolled as badly as he could have on that. So he becomes completely covered by this weighted net. And he was almost like slightly lifted off the ground at this point, and the net flings over him, and he's kind of like teetered off balance, crashes into the ground, and is now prone.
Maybe this is good for us.
You see the flames that he had over his arms kind of start looking at the net a little bit, but not enough to damage it enough. That's an issue.
I mean,
But he seems to be very restricted in his movement now too, which may or may not help you guys. Eddie, your turn.
Since he is prone, do we gain any benefit from this?
take his arms off.
I think you guys get like a +2 if they're prone.
Oh, Eddie, I am on your shoulder still.
That's fine. They're broad and they are strong. They can swing the axe and carry your paltry weight.
Just
Okay.
roll like normal, and I'll adjust the roll for how prone affects it.
Okay. I'm gonna just drop my boot down on top of his arms because I'm guessing they're somewhat restricted because of the net.
Yeah.
Or are they still kind of at his sides or held separate?
He had his arms out, and then he got thrown by a net, so he's kind of like sprawled out with a net over the top of him.
Cool. I'm just going to guess he's left-handed, and I'm going to go ahead and place my foot on his left arm and just try and lop it off.
Okay.
You adjust that how you feel.
Right. Roll for damage.
7 damage.
Okay. You sink your axe deep into it. Doesn't completely disconnect his wrist, but like one of the two bones holding his hand there is severed, and there's just a bunch of chunk of flesh missing right there. Looks like that arm is severely injured. But he still seems to have a light behind his eyes. Jake.
That's why I want this skull to pop off.
What's this area behind him here? That little area there.
So it's kind of like a wall, and then above it, there's like this platform. It looks like where someone would sit if they were overseeing the arena fight. It's about 15 feet high.
15 feet.
So basically, to him, like to you guys, it's just a flat 15-foot wall.
Okay. Well, I suppose since he's down on the ground, I'll just I'll aim the acid wand at him and pop off a charge on him.
Okay. You do so. Have we used that as an attack yet? Do you have what damage it does written down?
I don't know what damage it does. I have used it as an attack at least once. And then I did a critical hit and exploded a guy.
It's
Yeah, you like
D800.
melted his head off or something.
I think we've only used it once, and he rolled so high we didn't really worry. And it was against a pretty petty enemy too, so it didn't really work out the
You toasted a red shirt. We didn't bother doing the math.
Right. Give me 3d6.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Gladly. Holy crap.
Here's 16 acid damage to the crotch.
He's looking pretty horrendous. Closer to like a melting Terminator than what used to be a human.
Jake melts his crotch. Oh no, little Athenheimer.
Still seems to be like squirming. Again, it's kind of odd because he's not reacting in pain or in any way. He's like moving to try and mitigate, like, seems like he's trying to get out of the net, but the strikes don't seem to be like bothering him. At least not like in a pain sense. That more of an annoyance. It's the vibe you're getting from him. And after that, it becomes Athenheimer's turn. So he's going to wrestle his hands together, and under the net, he kind of rolls around a bit and claps his two hands. And as he does that, there's a
knocks one of his hands off.
I was getting to that. So he claps his hands together, and this shockwave goes out. And each of you that are within 10 feet, which I think is you three, are hit with this sudden blast of what sounds kind of like a thunder crack. You don't see a lightning or anything, but this just thunderous strike of energy. And you're all pushed 5 feet back. You can make a strength check to resist it, though.
I'm just gonna move with Eddie. Maybe. Unless Eddie doesn't get pushed back, then I'll get thrown back 5 feet.
Okay. And you guys do both resist it. And it deals 7 damage to each of you in the area.
Well, I'm going to say Godfrey does go flying back 5 feet anyway, because that's it. The 7 damage.
And with the combined effects of the acid kind of, and the fire, the acid, the axe, all hitting this net while it's on top of them, and now this blast of energy, the net's kind of torn to shreds, and his hand with it just goes flying out. And like
hits my shield and bounces off. I'm like,
yeah. Now it's Chuck's turn. He's still laying on the ground. He didn't have movement to get up after that, but
I want to hop down, put the skull nose to nose with him.
Okay.
And then I want to pinch the crap out of his nipple with the arrow sticking out of it.
Just smack it.
Just to try and get him to accidentally open his eyes.
Okay. Well, so his eyes are open, and you putting it where there's nothing else for it to see. I'm going to make him make this luck test this time. He has very low luck. He rolls a 12, and his luck is 8.
Okay.
So he fails. As you put the skull at him, you see the eyes, like the fire behind the eyes of this like destroyed body, almost a corpse at this point, on the ground, wink out. And shortly after, they reignite to the sound of, like, you pretty quickly see the face contort to pain and you just hear them start screaming, "Oh God, what's happening?" as they look down and their body is just absolutely decimated. And they sputter and cough and die shortly after.
Yikes.
The meat suit dies. With that, immediately upon that body, like as you like see its life force fading away and it's choking, sputtering, and dying. And almost with that, you see kind of the light of the room around you fade out. And you see what looks like the room you guys were in before fade back in. You are all up here. With where's that status effect? We're going to put that on him. Very injured looking corpse. So you guys are returned back into the room that you were before. You winked out and you see Athenheimer's body in the same state that it was in the room before. And you are all kind of huddled around it, and you're in that same formation, but now in a different space, as there's just this corpse that's been mangled and burned and stabbed and shot with arrows laying at your guys' feet, with Golik behind you.
Well, we did it. Golik, now what?
Let me move him. Actually, I'm going to just copy him from the other scene because I already put his name on. Doop-doop. And oh yeah, Golik's right here. So with that, you see as you turn back to look at Golik, you see that familiar like white cloud in front of his eyes as his eyes are darting around the room. And he quickly mutters back, it's like, we have a short amount of time to find where his actual body resides and where his actual soul's at.
Oh, like
But it's nearby.
Lich style, right?
Yes. That's what I checked when I was in the room with him. I was going to check that before, but I was afraid if I cast any sort of divining magic on him, it would give away my existence to him. He doesn't know that I was alive. But since he kind of just let off with that, I didn't have a moment to try that when we were in the room with him. So I had to do that once the fight started. But yes, he appears to not actually be in that body. He was piloting it sort of as like a mind control over it. And it's a little bit different because he was scrying through it as well. So he was able to see through it, but not really feel anything. But you broke that when you swapped the body out. And I don't know what body you got though when you pointed the skull at.
Okay, well, go fucking find him. Where's he at?
Says it's somewhere in this tomb.
Can we just say we power search the entire tomb?
I'm gonna say you guys. Yeah. So you move through. you know that there's a door here as you go to search it.
Yeah. Search the crap out of that door. Did your audio break, Dan?
It broke on purpose. I put myself on mute, and here I was talking.
Yeah, that would do it.
I don't know how many things I said on mute, but the important question was, are there doors on both sides or just this one?
Yeah. So you see this door here. You guys move through. There's a small room, another door. And then you are all standing here.
Okay.
And you see that there's a room with another statue. And it's got this like, kind of looks like a fountain. It doesn't have like a middle spot for water to come out of it, but it looks like this nicely carved stone fountain that's inlaid into the ground there. And it's got this like murky silvery water in it.
Well, the only thing that we can do with a strange fountain with murky silver water is put a 10-foot pole in it.
So you
Dip your stick.
press the water into it, or you press your 10-foot pole into it. And as you've sifted around, it's like pulling it. It seems to be like almost liquid metal, but it's not hot or anything. It doesn't like burn the stick. It seems to be room temperature. But you see like this sheen on the surface, and it's very reflective. Seems to be like a pool of liquid metal.
So if I pull it out, does it like stay on it?
It sticks to it a little bit, but as you remove it completely, it's got like a little bit of surface tension on it, and it kind of snaps back to the pool.
Okay, so it doesn't like come with it. Like I'm not like coating it in
Right.
it.
Yes. Yeah, it's not coating it. No, it feels like it has like surface tension resistance as you pull away from it, but it stays in the pool.
Is this like a
There's nothing on
cowabunga
it.
dudes moment, or
It may very well be.
So you sticking your face in that?
I mean, for the sake of brevity, I'm tempted to just jump in it, but
Do it.
I'll stick my pinky in first, and then when it eats me whole, they can all just laugh.
All right. Dan, you stick your hand into it.
I just said pinky.
Just a
Stick your
pinky.
pinky into it. And immediately when it makes contact, you feel this burning sensation as it slowly starts to like the surface tension makes contact with your finger and make its way up. And it seems to be like globbing up on your finger. And you feel this excruciating pain as it seems to be like removing your flesh as it's doing that.
Oh no, I need that.
I'm going to make you take some damage for that. Not very much because it's just your pinky. Yeah, you take one damage.
Oh,
Okay. My fingerprint on my pinky. I need that to unlock
Do you
my
leave your
cell
hand
phone.
there, or
No.
how do you react? Okay.
I mean, if it hurts, I would just like in real life, I'd pull my hand.
It hurts
back.
awfully. Yes. So you pull back your hand, and it kind of looks like you just stuck your finger into like a fireplace. It's charred and missing a little bit of flesh, very pink.
that sucks.
You don't see like bone or anything, but your pinky's like very messed up.
Is
This
there?
shit's rude.
What else do we see in this room besides the statue and the looking pool thing?
You see there is a wall here. And as you go up to inspect it, give me a check against Death Ray.
Nope.
As a dusty crossbow bolt is lobbed at you.
Okay. I have
You
4
take-
hit points.
I rolled a 4.
Okay.
Oh,
We now have a shish gnome.
Hildegrim is dead.
well, that's
All right.
I keep saying it. You guys need shields.
Those don't work for most characters.
That's what you say to his dead body.
Yeah, I'm just shaking his tiny gnome cadaver on the floor. I told you need a shield, boyo.
As you inspect the trap further, it looks like there was some mechanism that was supposed to be linked with the pool and the crossbow, but it hadn't been initiated yet. But messing with the crossbow set it off and fired into, or Hildegrim.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Thunk.
Calm down.
Get his stuff.
As he is
Yeah,
replaced.
we'll definitely go
your secondary
get
character.
that fancy soul swapping skull,
Okay.
and then whatever else Chuck wants to liberate from his character. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, my next character is a ranger. So pretty much I don't need any of that shit.
So Jake,
Okay.
you take whatever you want off of his body then.
I'll just drag it behind my second character because I mean Jerome died from that thunderclap, so now I'm Leopold Fortrix, halfling thief. So
Oh no, you're not
mean,
a magic
he's
user
got-
anymore?
No.
He's got a medallion of ESP. Can that be used?
I mean, anybody can carry that, I think.
Yeah, the helm of
You
teleportation is really the only other thing.
While you're going through his body, you notice that in the pool, now that it's kind of settled after the disturbance, when Dan's finger had been eaten away partially by this, it kind of left this like red stain on the metal. And as the pool settles, that red stain is in the dead center in a perfect circle. Just a small little red divot.
Is it time to liberate his body and throw his corpse in?
I'm okay with that.
Is that what I'm hearing?
It may very well be.
Take all the stuff off of them, throw the bodies in. They were never here.
Jake, what's your
We
new
got 2 of 'em.
character? Your new character's name?
Leopold Fortrix.
We're counting on you to keep in mind the things you had on your previous character, Chuck.
I'll just leave them on my character sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not deleting my first one just yet, so
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
So what do you do?
Strip
Well, I'm
the
gonna
body,
throw Jerome into the pool.
eat it.
Jerome into the pool?
Yeah, Garfrey.
Okay.
My magic user. He's going in the pool.
Like living, breathing Jerome's going in the pool?
No, he's dead.
Oh no, he's dead. He died.
Oh, dead Jerome.
The thunderclap killed him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got 2 dead characters.
Indeed.
So yeah, when you guys returned back to that room, the corpse of Jake's character was just laying
Just
there.
kind of mangled.
What up,
Yeah.
guys? It didn't say.
Just bleeding from
I
the
didn't-
ears.
I didn't notice that killed you. Yeah. Yeah, it would be like it's definitely a lot of blood and just like it looked like his skull was cracked. But okay, you dump Jerome into the pool, and it eats away at him. And as it does, it seems to burn through a little bit slower. Whereas like there wasn't really anything left of Dan's finger when it got eaten away. You do see there's like bits of Jerome's body that are kind of left over. It seems like all the parts that had fully died are just kind of sitting there, not mixing into the pool.
Oh, we didn't remember to bring a pool skimmer with us.
Mm.
Yeah. But it's much closer to being fully red now. So there's just like this thin outline of silver. The rest of it's like this red metallic.
Well, nobody ever
And
said it
just
was time
chunks
to feed
of Jerome's
bodies.
flesh.
So we'll go ahead and feed the next body, which is more recently. We'll just slowly feed it in a little bit at a time until it looks like it's full. You never know when a dead body might be useful.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Or might want to be resurrected minus an arm
Yeah.
or a leg. As long as it's not the third one.
So you toss the body of Chuck's old character. Is it Hildegard?
Jake's old character.
Well, Jake
Or
and then
Jake.
Chuck's. I
Oh,
think.
both of them. Okay.
Yeah, because so basically it seems
Oh, wait.
that it only cares about living flesh.
Unless
And
you
because
don't
your
want
bodies were so recently dead, parts of the body were still kind of alive and hadn't fully deteriorated.
I will
so-
take my helm of teleportation and the medallion of ESP.
Well, that's why I said we were gonna.
I was assuming you guys were just stripping like
Yeah.
all the items off of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like keep the stuff on the inventory, but we're removing
Yeah,
all
I
their
mean-
equipment and using them to the fullest.
I mean, my second character is the thief, so he's just taking it all.
Sure. But yeah, you dump Chuck's recent corpse into the body or into the pond. It seems to dissolve it a little bit quicker than it was working away at Jake's previous character because he died slightly sooner. And you see this like red outline of the silvery pool reach the edge. And as it makes contact with the edge ring, the first bit of it that makes contact lights it up, this like dark red glow, and it slowly completes all the way around as the rest of the circle makes contact. And then just as soon as the whole ring of this pool lights up, all of the contents inside of it vanish. It's just this quick wave, like all of the metal vanishes, all of the redness of it, and just the little chunks of fleshy bits that weren't able to be dissolved by the pool kind of are suspended in space for a bit and drop, as this is now a hole in the ground with this iron run ladder leading down.
Garlic, is this normal?
It's fine. I'll go down first.
It's like I've never seen, I don't know if that was alchemy or magic or what, but I haven't ever messed with anything that does that.
Down I go.
He seems unfamiliar. Oh, you all walk down. And as you move down, you are brought to, it's at a different spot on the same map. Actually, I don't want to do that. You all funnel down. As you climb down, you are picture this room is like directly underneath this area. It's just to the side of it for how I drew the map. You're in this small room. There's another door in front of you. And this room's pretty empty. There's just the ladder and the fleshy bits It's pretty dusty in here. Looks like nothing's been in here for a while. There's kind of cobwebs and things, even more so than the rest of the dungeon. But it looks like nothing's been in here for a bit.
It's got kind of a high price for entry, so
Yeah. I'll open that door.
You open the door. In here, you see what looked to be, you're not sure at first. It looks like just kind of loose fabrics and silks. And then you see coin purses. And it looks to just be like a room. You also see there's like candles along the walls and small sets of flowers and things that have been lawn dead. It just looks to be a room kind of full of like offerings that you would leave by like a grave.
That's
This
fucked
entire
up.
room is just kind of filled with it. And there's a small path leading to the next door.
it's almost like they liked him or something.
Maybe. Well, let's go kill him anyway. I'll head through that door.
You head through this door. Oh, and this trap overlapped this a little bit, so I need to clear that out. Move this up. There you go. So in this room, as soon as you start turning this door, there's this like awful stench of like rotten flesh. And you thought maybe it was from the previous room because there was kind of the fleshy bits that were dropped down from the uneaten parts of your previous bodies. But definitely seems to be the source is this room as it opens up. And you see this grotesque sight of a familiar tentacle. One that you've seen before in your first dungeon, where it seems to be made out of this like kind of amorphous mass of flesh, and there's partially formed faces and eyes and mouths all over it. But it seems to be like nailed in place along, think of the type of fence you would see like a grapevine or a tomato fruit or something like that grow along.
Crosshatch sort of.
Yeah. There's like this wrought iron gate thing kind of, or not gate, but like
Jamie's got the word.
yeah, trellis. Okay. Yes, that. But it's made out of iron. And this tentacle is erupting out of the earth and seems to have been like filled back in around it. And it's wrapped up and over it. And there's nails driven through it, holding it in place. You can see it's still alive and slightly moving and thriving as if it's trying to get away. And staked to the top of it looks like a human skull at the edge of this tentacle.
Shoot it with an arrow.
And its eyes have this bright green, vibrant glow to them.
Yeah, I shoot it with an arrow.
All right. Shoot it with an arrow. It's not moving, so it's not hard to hit at all. Your arrow passes through the socket and chips it a little bit. And there's like a crack that kind of forms. The green flame goes around the arrow and burns it a bit. And it sinks into the flesh of this tentacle, which starts screaming even more.
Unless you all want to get the other skull and do a skull swap.
Nah, we can just crush this one, can't
Is
we?
it worth it to save this one?
Nah, let's just crush it.
All right, I'll walk up and with the pommel of my axe, I'll just see if I can crush cave in the head of the skull.
All right. You go up to the skull that's pinned to this end of the tentacle and bonk it like dead center of the kind of the forehead and above a little bit.
Yeah.
And it caves in and it slowly starts to like turn to dust in a ring around it and crumble. The eyes flare up and this green flame kind of shoots out of either end. And underneath it, you see it looks like the tentacle is growing inside of the skull. So it kind of falls away and you see like a partially formed inside of someone's head, like almost like it's forming brain matter and stuff
Lob
inside
that
of it.
tentacle off.
Straight from the ground.
But as it loses the structure of the skull, it kind of starts to fall apart, and all of the curves and wrinkles that you'd see normally make up a brain unravel into these tiny little tentacles. You hear these short little screeches as it seems unhappy about being exposed to the air.
I'll pull my sword out and go and cut that tentacle out. Like
Yeah.
a couple feet down from the
Do that.
skull.
Yeah, and I'm definitely putting a couple crossbow bolts in that sucker.
Yeah, you do so. It starts wriggling, starts losing more of its form.
I do have
you
the
cut
black
off.
dagger that I could stab it with. The soul sucking black dagger.
It's fine by me.
Just
Good. When you go to use that dagger, Dan, make me a luck check.
I know it's super taboo, but let's see here. I pass.
All right. Good. Seeing as you have never used this taboo soul dagger, if you don't know how to wield it right, sometimes you get the soul equation backwards.
Oh no.
Okay.
So you cut away at it. Where are you aiming at with this dagger as you go to cut it?
I mean, probably the brain parts.
Okay.
By that I
So you
mean the brain
cut at
parts.
it. Yeah. And you cut into this matter of like tentacles that are trying to form this brain. And as you do that, the tentacle stops wriggling and kind of like hardens and seems to almost turn black as this black purpleness rushes starting at the tip of this tentacle, and it goes all the way down this trellis. Did you say it was
Trellis.
Trellis.
Trellis. Who
Yeah.
the fuck knows?
trellis?
Trellis.
Okay.
Trellis.
Trellis.
Jamie,
Okay,
tell
trellis.
me the word. All right.
It's an E, not an O.
Trellis.
E and an I.
Trellis.
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 Trellis. Okay. A word
Okay.
that I totally knew beforehand.
Definitely.
But you see it like the tentacles kind of beigey and reddish tint turns black, and it seems to move down and into the ground, and it withers away and shrivels up and goes limp and dies, stops moving.
Well, either I did a good thing or I did a bad thing.
Yeah.
Probably the second.
The dagger feels great in your hand now. It's got like, you don't know how to describe it. It's just got this like energy to it. You feel powerful.
Clooney's got problems. But this dagger's gonna fix them.
And with that, Golik, you see the similar divining spell wash over his eyes. And he lets out a sigh and kind of relaxes a bit. It's like, well, I think that did it.
Nice. Well,
I mean,
we saved the world.
maybe. I mean, these tentacles seem bad, and he was a tentacle thing, so he's bad. Did we do the good thing?
We do good.
So Golik would say that skull was what he was bound to. And he was attempting to, I'm not sure what, like convene or commune with like this tentacle. This is one of his always tentacles that he's made room for. I've never seen it try to form its own brain matter, so that's a little concerning. But he didn't. Basically, the tentacle wasn't him; the skull was.
Okay.
But it was interfacing with him in some way. So I don't know if he was controlling it or if he had bound his essence to it in some way. I don't exactly know. But either way, the two seemed to be linked,
Did we cheat?
at least in this form. And I don't sense his soul here anymore. So I know whatever Athenheimer was dead. And whatever he was attached to, you did a great deal of hurt to it.
Nice. All right. Well, let's go home.
All according to plan. Joe, you said there were some coin purses in the other room.
Yes,
Never won the missing
Fantastic.
there were.
I'm so
As
sad
you-
about that little gnome that died, but maybe this will assuage my guilt.
As you loot the burial offerings of ancient peoples, as you kind of look into the coins to count them, you don't notice, or you don't, not that you don't know, you're not familiar with how they're minted. Like they're not coins that you recognize.
They're uncommon coins.
Yeah. I mean, they'll still fetch currency. They still are made out of the same materials as your guys' coins, but you don't recognize what nation or who minted them. They're very different designs than what you're used to. And they're also not like, they're more hexagonal instead of kind of more roundish, how your guys' currency normally is. So they seem to be some very old minted currency.
Pirate
Probably will look
treasure.
the same way.
It
Okay.
goes in our loot bag all the same.
You get between all of the bags about 160 old coins.
Nice.
I'll just write it in the group inventory. 160 old coins. All right.
All right. And with that,
one totally taboo dagger filled with nothing at all.
absolutely nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Filled with tentacle.
I'm
One
sure
dagger
nothing-
of tentacle.
I'm sure nothing will ever come of this ever.
It'll be great. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, yeah. And with that, Athenheimer's been dispatched. From there, Golik, you see, just kind of staring off. He's like, it's kind of weird. This is the only thing I've thought about doing for probably the past several thousand years. I was stuck in the skull. Now that it's done, I don't really know what to do.
How do you feel about fighting a giant?
I'll throw. I
tentacle
was gonna say
monster?
I'll throw my hand over his shoulder and I'll just say, have you thought about maybe exploring the world, learning all of its secrets, and perhaps, if it's not too distasteful, making a living and a profit?
Or you could just become a brutal dictator and give us really cushy jobs in your kingdom.
That would
Well,
also
I
be
would.
acceptable.
I am a little sad to not see any of my former nation here. Although I'm probably now that Athenheim is dead, the only one that cares about that, I'm sure.
Maybe forego the brutal part. Could we just be okay? Nice people, maybe.
I do feel somewhat nostalgic for this land. It would be nice to see it return to how it was.
Also, tentacle monster.
Ostrovia seems to not be as friendly with their neighbors to the south. Perhaps I could aid with that in some way.
See,
Still
everything
feel
works out.
some connection.
Giant tentacle monster.
And Azoy is still alive. I mean, this was one of his tentacles. I don't know how deep that cut's going to return back to him. I don't know if that's going to like poison his core or if that's just going to kill that one arm, but he has several. But at least his reach in this leg of the world's probably a little bit less.
Cool.
But he seems to be deep under the earth, and I don't care too much to go down there.
Same.
From what venturing I've done down there in my previous part of my life, I don't care for it too much.
But it doesn't mean it's not there.
True. I'd much rather hire someone else to deal with that.
And when you say hire someone else, how much would you be willing to pay?
Not enough for us, right? Huh?
Probably. Depends on how well this next segment of reacquainting myself with the Vishkali, I believe is what they call themselves now. We'll see how that goes first.
Okay.
But now I've got a little bit more leg room with Athenheimer out of the way.
Cool.
Well,
And
ancient tentacle
with that-
monsters notwithstanding, we have acted profitably and heroically. So go us.
Good.
Yay!
Yay!
I think
We
so.
did it.
No questionable things happened ever.
Not one.
None at all. All right. I suppose fades to epilogue as you guys venture out of the dungeon with Golok in tow and slowly help him build his political empire to reach some sort of power in the Veshkal nation. Who knows where that will go?
With the best mediocre intentions possible.
Yes.
What are your intentions? Yes, we have those.
Yes. Without a doubt.
We'd like to just do things okay.
Are
World's
things being done?
okayest party.
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
If you somehow were able to follow the path of this corruption as it traveled down the tentacle, weaving through the cracks of the earth that it had been narrowing or navigating, searching for a path for the rest of its body to reach the surface, you would see eventually its immune system catches up with this corruption and stops it in its tracks as the tentacle severs itself. And in its place, the tentacle splits and two more grow on as Azoi continues to live beneath the surface.
Okay.
Like
Cool.
the Hydra.
Probably a
Joe.
problem for another party.
Joe, it's a Zoe's world. We're just living in it.
Yeah.
The important thing
You're living above it.
is I
Above
loaded
it.
my
You're right.
dagger up with a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yep.
Dan slaps dagger. This bad boy can hold so much energy.
Yep. But yeah, that'll do it. You guys killed Athenheimer. He had a lot more health than what you did to him, but that skull kind of broke the meat suit that he was wearing.
Mhm.
And so because of that, that kind of cut the fight shorter than it would have been.
That poor, horrible elf we put in that body.
Yeah.
No matter what he has done, he probably did not deserve that.
Probably didn't deserve that.
You put him into a body that had taken more than double his HP and damage.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So he pretty much instantly was just wigged out.
Pain followed by death.
Yeah.
So
And we're
people.
the good guys.
yes.
I
It was
believe
like waking
Ellis-
up having just been thrown in a wood chipper.
Yes. So he assumed he had been being called by his boss last time you interacted with him. So he had like a very cheap medallion on him that detected divining magic. And usually his management would beam like an information spell his direction as a signal to get back to work or that I need to talk to you. You guys triggered that by trying to listen to him because it was a pretty crude spell. That's why he left.
Yeah.
So his continuity of consciousness was, I'm at a bar. I just got my first break of the day, but my boss wants me back. Then I get mugged in an alley.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wake up in a acid pool with a bunch of people I don't recognize beating my corpse.
No. Joe, he gets mugged in an alley, Then he wakes up looking up at the fucking muggers
that's true.
in searing pain as he dies.
Yes.
We're the
So I guess
same
he did see you
people
guys
who
right
mugged
before.
him.
Yeah.
So he got mugged in an alley and then woke up somewhere else with the muggers,
Still being mugged.
still being mugged and dying brutally after an indeterminate amount of time. Jesus Christ, what a way to end your life.
That's yeah.
That tomb is now haunted.
That tomb is definitely haunted.
We're the good guys.
And we are the good guys, believe it or not.
I never
Yes.
claimed that.
I mean, good is just a matter of perspective, right?
That's fair, Chuck. That's fair.
I mean, we're the good guys in our eyes, right?
We're the
good guys
Yeah.
we are the protagonists in our own story. Definitely not that guys, though.
Right. Now with the campaign being done, I can tell you what Athenheimer had been doing, which was the way the campaign started. You guys were hired to assist with a mining crew.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first crews that were given any sort of pass to mine in Beshkal from Ostrovia to the north. And there's a bit of tension there. And a lot of the locals didn't like that mining deal. Part of the reason that mining deal happened at all was because Athenheimer had poisoned their water table and caused a famine for the previous few years.
Oh, oops.
Which put pressure on them to negotiate trades for food. And then he kind of put his foot in the door for his mining company. And then just happened to be picking of all of these mining spots that had dungeons in them. As he was searching for his old things to pick up his old quest to finish his ritual with his Oi.
Nice.
So he was playing the long game.
Very long game, yes. Because he'd been conscious the entire time. Like he's several thousands of years old.
Like stuck in the skull also?
Not stuck in the skull. So he killed his body intentionally to preserve it as like a zombie instead of waiting until his body died and staying as a skeleton.
Yeah.
So he was piloting like this mindless zombie and looked semi-normal because of that. If you guys had been real like suspicious of him or inclined to investigate him, you would have noticed that he never eats or sleeps or blinks or cares about heat, anything like that. And he was also very deliberate to hide the fact that he was a spellcaster around most people. He would cast from scrolls. Most of them were scrolls that he made in secret for himself. Yeah. But he would do that to pretend that he was just some site surveyor for this mining company.
Yeah. Admittedly, we weren't too sharp in some regards.
That's fine. I wasn't going to be too heavy-handed with it anyways, because this is a cover that he'd had for several thousand years. So
You think he'd be
been pretty good at
by
it
now?
Yeah. It's kind of fitting to not notice it. So that's
Wow.
all right.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we did pick up on
plain
his...
old-fashioned greed prevented his
Yeah.
plans from getting through.
Yep.
Nice skull.
You did pick
No,
up
we're
at the
keeping
end there
that.
about
Nice book. No, we're
the
keeping
mining
that.
operation stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, if the bandit thing hadn't set back the mining so much, it just would have kept going like dungeon to dungeon. Like, man, this sure is crazy. You keep finding all these dungeons only in the places that I chose the company to go mine. What are the chances of that? They must be all over the place.
How convenient.
Right?
Crazy.
That and we didn't tell him all the things that we found.
Yes, that was a very dramatic. So I had a slightly similar plan originally for how his whole plot was going to carry on. But you guys taking his master's book and skull out and not telling him about it that was supposed to be more of like he'd find it and do something with it.
Oh, okay.
But it wouldn't be like, I really didn't think too much about what he was going to do with it. But because you didn't tell him that you had found Golik for his spell book, then I was like, oh, this is an opportunity for some shenanigans, because I guess Golik would be pretty upset about what happened to him.
Yeah.
So that shifted the campaign a lot in a pretty fun way.
Nice.
Woot. Never underestimate a small group of jackasses who just want to steal everybody's stuff.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Should we find out how much our old coins are worth?
$20.
So the old coins are worth kind of the same as like actual like gold coins. If you were to buy them today, like they have technical currency value, where if you were just to spend them at face value at a tavern, they would work. But if you were able to find a collector of some kind, they'd be worth about 6 times per piece what they would normally are worth.
Nice. That would be significant.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you put a little effort to find like a rare coins guy or a historian that cared about that type of thing, he would be willing to pay a lot to have that many.
Woohoo!
That's
Cool.
a problem for future us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Hey, Jen,
And-
thanks for that sub.
At least we didn't explode a flying city this time.
That is
Right.
true.
You did a lot less mass destruction
Yeah.
than the
There
previous
was less
campaign.
terrorism.
Yes.
Yeah. We may have even done good things.
Yep.
Yeah,
Aided
inadvertently.
in-
Worse people. I
You
think.
were helping the people that were oppressing Veshkal a lot, and potentially, had things gotten too much worse, unleash a Zoe upon them. That would have been bad, but that didn't happen, so that's good.
We may have inadvertently become heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We
Which-
may have accidentally been good.
Now that we're world saving heroes, I mean, we can charge like triple.
We got a rate hike, I think.
Yeah.
We have credentials now.
Yes.
No, we have experience, but no credentials. Like, how are we going to prove this?
That's kind of true. There's no witnesses. There's
Easy. Golik will spread the word of us, spread the legend of whoever the hell we are.
Or,
And he'll
or
be
we
considered a mad lad.
or we just stab him with a black dagger.
That's it.
So, part of the way
Now
that
we know who the real
Zoe's
villain is.
lore works
Yeah.
was that the whole thing with the Zoe is that he is a failed siphon of souls, where he used to be a person, and then when Athenheimer tried to do a ritual to like siphon a bunch of souls, he did it wrong, and they all just wound up going into that guy, and he turned into that thing.
Okay.
So you using the soul dagger on it got more than one soul into it.
Nice.
Oh no.
So
Fully
it's a
loaded.
little bit, it kind of went from 0 to 100 real fast.
Well, my character is not smart enough to know that.
Right.
It went
That
in
dagger is
came
pretty
out with the
decent
dark
now.
saber.
A little bit.
Does that mean it's like super powerful now or something?
It means
Is Dan
that
Mandalore now?
the
Yes.
number of dice it would deal on its next hit is pretty stupidly high. Because that's how that works.
Dan,
Uh,
please roll 80d4.
And then the events of this campaign, depending on how you guys ended this, were what we're going to shape the inciting call to action of next campaign I'm planning on running.
Nice.
Because the next campaign I'm planning on running is going to be in the system I'm creating right now, which originally started as a port of Heart, or like a heavily inspired game system built around the kind of some of the ideas that Heart had, but now it's kind of just its own thing that I've been changing.
And that's what's going to be coming up next Friday, right?
Yes.
Tested
So
that.
plan is that next Friday, maybe the Friday after.
Yeah.
Depending on how things go. Play testing that system, which I'm calling Delve. So
I think that's a game already.
Everything is.
is it a game already? If it is, then I'm not calling it that. But I tried
Yeah.
looking for a game called Delve, and I didn't see
There
it.
is, yeah. It's by Feral
Is it an
Games,
RPG?
Mm-hmm.
RPG?
Yet to be named game.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Well, yeah, an unnamed, totally original game that I'll have a name for next time.
Spelunk.
Maybe. Yeah, not Delve.
Definitely not Delve game.
Yes. Delve
Evled.
parentheses 1. But yeah. So that'll be what we're playing next time. Kind of the goal of that game is that it's streamlining a lot of things that are tedious. You don't track inventory very much. You don't track coinage. Everything's in tiers of value and you barter them. Checks are very floaty. You have skills that are very skills are more like a scope of an aim of an intent, and you shape them how you want. And it's kind of how everything in that game works. Skills are like that, magic's like that. Everything's very malleable. D6 dice system, rolling a bunch of dice. The more sixes you get, the better you do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Between now and next week, I'll show you guys off stream how to make characters. I'll post it in the Discord. We'll go over it briefly at the start of the stream, but we'll have characters ready to play. And we'll do a one shot.
Cool. Okay.
Sounds good.
So, what is it? It's still Friday. So, Saturday, we've got a double header for you. We got 1 p.m. Forbidden Lands, and we've got 9 p.m. The Darkest House. Sunday, Jake and I will be hanging out over on Steam Steel Murder for some Shadowrun. Monday, Joe, Dan, and I will be hanging out on Lollygaggers for some UVG. And then next Wednesday, we'll be back here on Defenders for some Pathfinder. Yeah, Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And yeah, upcoming for our Fridays, the next 1 to 2 Fridays will be Joe's playtest. And then after that, we're going to start a Shadowrun campaign, a weekly Shadowrun campaign. Right now, I'm working on making Shadowrun using the Zweihander core rule system. Because the Shadowrun core rule systems are all booty. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what we got coming up.
That's a homebrewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before I sign us off?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Later.